Love podcasts, hate nonsense. It's the PoliticsJOE podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely.
Praise the Lord.
How are you?
Allahu Akbar. I'm good.
That too.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Housekeeping.
Yes.
Buy tickets to the live show.
Yes, come.
This Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, what would you rather be doing?
Watching the England game.
Going to Glastonbury.
Going to Glastonbury. But if, like me, you fancy coming home early from Glastonbury for the live show, maybe I'll see you on the train.
That'd be nice.
Maybe
PolJOE convoy.
Maybe I'll pick you up. I won't do that. Don't even think about that.
You don't want to watch England-Slovakia?
Well, I actually do. But I'm obliged to do the live show.
I have professional obligations.
Yeah. We could project it behind us.
Yeah, maybe if it goes to pens.
Yes.
Stick the pens up. 'Cause I don't think you put 120 minutes, 90 minutes of football on behind us whilst we're podcasting. I think it would be an interesting challenge to see which could hold the audience's attention more. But on the basis of England's recent performances, if they did watch the game, it would be a damning indictment of the podcast.
Oh, what's more boring?
Yes.
England scoring 1 goal against Slovakia.
Yeah. Might not even manage that.
No, that's true.
Slovakian own goal, perhaps.
You never know.
You never know. So there's that. Murray Black's going to be there.
Yes. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, pints, drinking games. We've got some special surprises lined up.
Absolutely. I don't even know what they are.
Exactly.
So even I'm going to be surprised. We're going to get the guy who shat in Sunak's lake. He's coming.
The live podcast is actually just us and all of the audience shitting into a bath together.
That's a big bath, that. Huge bath. I wouldn't like that.
How do we feel about shitting in a lake as a bit of direct action?
I don't love it.
I think it's a bit grim.
I think it's so repellent that even if you agree with his point, which I'm sure I do.
They kept sending me the video.
But like,
they kept sending it to me.
Dye the lake. Make it freaking orange or whatever your colour is. Don't shit. It's such a, like, it's so repellent on a base level. Like lizard brain, you're like, that's fucking disgusting. I hate you. And you turn off anyone who might have any... It's not even funny. Well, maybe it's a bit funny.
I don't know. No, I don't
I'm
know.
rolling back
having
on that.
seen the uncensored version, there is just... it's... I don't know. There's just... You feel sorry for the guy. Do you know what I mean? Like...
The guy who drew the short straw.
I think he's probably the only one who was prepared to do it.
To shit on demand as well.
Yeah, shitting on demand. Also, like, it being filmed.
So gross.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you
No one should know what your poo looks like. Like, that is between you
and God.
and God.
That is... You're absolutely... I think... Imagine if it was like 5 minutes of him, like, straining.
The police just waiting, stood at the water's edge.
Shaking.
Did you see that Gar commentator died?
Yes.
And he had a really funny quote. He had many funny quotes, but one of them was like, it's between it's up to the referee and God now. The referee is Ed Campbell and God is God.
That was sick. I asked Sean how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, I mean, fucking...
I can't remember, and I'm not going to try.
Sean?
Mihol O'Murray-Hurtig. Murray Hurtig.
Murray Hurtig.
Absolutely. R.I.P. to that man.
A legend.
Absolutely.
Legend of the game.
A legend that we've just found out about. Justice.
Look, have you ever watched it? Footy?
No.
I used to have to, when I was subbing on the Sunday Times digital desk, you'd be like, someone have to do the Irish edition. And you'd look at like the score on the headline and you'd think a certain team had won, but they hadn't. Because like it's 2 parts. It's like, 1-13 to 0-20.
Right.
It looks like a cricket. It looks like almost like a cricket score.
Okay.
Like you think like maybe someone's got out.
Mm-hmm.
No. The first number is the most important number, Sean.
First number is
Goals.
For 3 points.
Yeah.
And then the second number is points. So you just add the goals to the points, and that's how many points you have.
Yeah.
Got you. That's clear.
Yeah. Maybe someone who understood the sport should have been doing that, but ours is not
There's
the
been-
reason why.
When Josh Widdicombe and Nish Kumar were in, Josh Widdicombe used to be a sports journalist for The Guardian, and he said he was doing like the live updates for a Formula One race, and he had never watched Formula One this live. And he just at one point put a post up saying, "Bits of car are all over the track," which isn't wrong. Say what you see.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually also quite freeing when you're not drenched in the cliche of something.
Yes,
To be able to talk about it in an original manner is actually very refreshing. It's why I've hired people that have no political expertise into the company. Because you have all have really fresh takes on politics.
and how to use a camera as well. That's why you hired me as a videographer. God, it's going to be so like.
yeah. It was being hired as a
Gonzo.
videographer that made Ed realise he needed glasses.
That's true. We'd be out in shoots and you could read a sign and I couldn't. And I was like, wow, Ollie's got the best eyesight of all time.
Why aren't you like an RAF fighter pilot or something?
Does the government know about your eyesight?
Registered weapons.
Should we talk some politics?
Well, we have been. Well, if not shitting in a lake.
I suppose it is
That's a
politics.
discussion of politics.
Is that an appropriate form of protest?
I'm going to say it's a log too far.
Very good.
I don't think it's good. And I've supported them doing pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I think this is
I think this summer they've been like, no, we need to alienate the people that like us as well.
it's a difficult second album.
So they've gone for Stonehenge. And what is the most gross?
Yeah.
What can we do that no one will support?
Uh-huh.
And they found it.
I only want the real heads.
Yeah, they've managed to alienate the Druids, who are probably like the most on-side people in the country, and people that don't like looking at a turd exiting someone's backside.
Yep. I actually think they'd have more support if they didn't release a video. If they were just like,
We've done it.
We've done it. We've done this. Okay.
He just looked so sad while he was doing
I
it.
think it's probably
It was like regretful.
It's one of the most humiliating things you can do
Yeah.
on demand, on camera.
Also, don't give that up for free. If you're going to do that, start an OnlyFans. Actually, I don't think they permit that kind of thing.
I'm going to say they almost definitely don't. Maybe other platforms do. There's probably some weirder platforms where you can do that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
I didn't mind Stonehenge, to be perfectly honest.
No, I didn't. It didn't particularly bother me. But what I'm saying is the people that
Your core audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, remember?
I think there's some concern about lichen growth.
Yep. But then there was like the next day, all people were touching Stonehenge for summer solstice.
They're not meant to touch it though.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's the point. But I think it's like the people complaining about it, saying how holy a place it was, were then touching it.
Yeah, they used to like fucking sit on top of that and smoke joints, but not anymore.
Because of woke.
Yeah. But no, I think it would just wash off with rain, the cornstarch orange. But there's like rare lichen on it or so. I don't know.
Something fucking look it up.
Yeah. Give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, but again, the Druids care about things like that.
Yeah. There's not many Druids, to be fair, though.
I think it's a substantial enough constituency.
But not enough. No one's courting the Druid vote in like the election.
They should be.
They're not like a powerful group. Maybe actually, if we had proportional representation, there'd be a powerful Druid vote, but they're probably not all concentrated enough.
There are various Druid orders and about 10,000 practitioners in Britain.
Okay, that's nobody. That's like half a constituency, surely.
Well, constituency is about 70,000, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah. Never mind then. Okay, 7th then.
But there are 73,000 declared pagans.
Okay, well, still, it's not like they're not moving the dial in any significant way.
Well, I don't know. It's Old Trafford, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you wouldn't walk out into Old Trafford and be like, "Oh, there's not many people here."
Well, no, but I don't think Man United fans could swing the election.
That's an interesting idea.
I'm trying to get them to swing the election. I don't think they could.
Because there's a lot of Man United fans.
No, there is, absolutely. Equally, a lot of people who hate Man United.
Yeah.
So they'd come up against an equal opposite resistance.
Have you seen that Blues have asked the EFL if we can play our game against Wrexham in America?
Yes, that's sick. When I was in Totnes yesterday, this man who was in, I'd say, an unclear level of sobriety, saw Harry's camera and came up to, shouted, "Film me." And I think he did a rap about Birmingham City.
A rap about Birmingham City?
Yeah.
Right.
And just kind of like, because he said, because they were Zulus, Birmingham City are Zulus.
Yeah.
It was like, "I'm a Zulu, I'm from Birmingham," and that was the crux of it. So it was a rap about Birmingham City, I deduced. But I was like, Ollie would be loving this right now.
It's quite a neat metaphor for what my club's become, really.
A shirtless man in
Just
Totnes.
a passing drunk. Rambling about the club.
Yeah, it was good. It was quite sick.
Whilst we burn, yeah.
I can show you later.
Oh, you filmed the whole thing?
Yeah, we're not publishing it, obviously. But
Well, I'll see about that.
this is the best thing. Maybe we can get the guy to perform in America.
Ed, I know I sent you there to do a piece about an interesting experiment in local direct democracy, but you've buried the lead. We need the rapping Zulu. This is the piece.
Zulu Zach's music
Why
video.
didn't you, he's called Zach.
I made it up.
Why didn't you follow him? Where did he go?
I think he got arrested.
Send of the century for you.
Yeah, it was lovely. Beautiful
30-degree day in South Devon.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to blow my nose, sorry.
Listeners, you won't believe it. It was cut out, but Ollie shat himself when he blew his nose. He's had to go and have a shower. He's washed himself in Rishi Sunak's lake. Yeah, I was in South Devon on a beautiful day,
Ripper.
exploring local democracy.
Is she well?
She is well in South Devon, actually. They found a way to beat first past the post, or they think. It's not been beaten yet, but they're putting a jolly good fight.
Okay, so...
Did you see the comments about how good yesterday's podcast was without us?
No.
Yeah, they fucking loved it. And I feel...
They're vindicated.
Yeah, they're absolutely vindicated. In South Devon, so previously, Totnes constituency, which will be known as South Devon in this election, due to boundary changes, they've had a Tory MP for 100 years. And as is not the same guy.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Not some vampire that lives in South Devon that nobody's ever heard of. I think that's important to emphasise.
And is this going to be in your piece?
Now it is. I think that's funny. Yeah. The 100-year-old vampire who's the MP for South Devon.
If we publish that, people would be like, why have you, every other video you've made, what was the point of it? Why did you not tell us that there's a 100-year-old vampire in the House of Commons? Why is the British political media establishment ignored this? Nosferatu is in Parliament.
Because he can't be captured on camera.
Yes. Yeah. It's very difficult to film. He's kind of like constantly shimmering.
He's hanging upside down.
And also, everyone that's gone to cover the story has been killed.
You look at him in the House of Commons. He's eating a stag.
You're the first person to make it out of Totnes alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The real story is so much worse than that. It fucking sucks. Okay, So the MP isn't a vampire. He's a man
Oh,
called...
shut up. Let's talk about something else.
He's a man called Anthony Mangnall, and projections suggested that he was going to retain his seat with 34%
Fucking
of
hell.
the vote.
Is he like the only one?
The only what?
Tory MP to keep his seat.
Might well be, actually. Well, maybe not if this group has anything to do with it. But it's an example of what our friend Neil from Compass calls progressive tragedies, where there's
Right.
a greater... A majority of people are voting for progressive parties, but split in such a way in that it's not... One party doesn't get a greater vote than the Conservative. So
Yeah.
the Conservative will retain his seat with a minority of the popular vote.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a hallmark of first past the post.
Yes, it's quite literally how the system works.
Absolutely, yeah, definition of. So I found that out first of all. Oh!
Neil from Compass being like, so the system's working exactly as it's meant to. And that's bad.
But he won. So a group called South Devon Primary,
Yeah.
3 campaigners from different political backgrounds. One is one was voted Conservative until 2015, and the other 2 were kind of Green Labour voters based in South Devon, absolutely sick to death of this. So they thought, how do we...
The Tory voter was sick to death of the Tory winning.
Yes, but since 2015, she's not voted Conservative.
Right.
Because she was very firmly opposed to Brexit. Was involved with People's Vote campaign and stuff. So they were like, how do we coordinate this progressive vote, this potentially progressive majority here?
Yeah.
How do we coordinate this behind and make sure we keep the Conservative out? So they've held a series of primaries where the Greens, Lib Dems and Labour were invited to send a candidate to say why they were best placed to beat the Conservatives, and people would vote, and whoever won that vote would be deemed the People's Champion, which I don't like that name. Maybe it turns me off the whole idea slightly.
Right.
And everyone would get behind that person and have a coordinated tactical vote. So Labour
They're also not quite an important vignette to this, which is that everyone who participates in the primary, which is about 1,000 people, then campaign on the behalf, right, of the person that wins.
I think that's the idea. I don't know if that is.
Not everyone's going to
the
go
case.
out door knocking, but
No.
even let's say of the 1,000 people that voted, even if half of them went out and canvassed,
Yeah,
that's like having 500 activists campaigning for you is like it's a
good,
game changer.
good numbers.
Yeah.
Good numbers. So a woman named Caroline Voden is the People Champion
Right.
of the South Devon primary. Who's a Liberal Democrat, and they're trying to just coordinate the votes and unseat this Conservative. And the parties, national parties, do not like this.
Yeah.
Believe it
So
or not.
you said they were all invited. Did Labour go?
Believe it or not, no, they didn't.
No.
Labour were invited, and they hadn't selected their candidate yet. So they were doing it. Basically, they needed to be ready for what they thought was going to be a May election. So they had the event booked, and Labour hadn't yet selected their candidate.
Yeah.
They invited Labour to send a representative on their behalf, and didn't do so. And Labour were on the ballot paper, but didn't receive enough votes, more than the Lib Dems. It's interesting because Labour were the second party in 2015 and 2017. But that's an anomaly for the area. It's usually the Lib Dems, and so it's more traditionally a Conservative Lib Dem
Marginal.
not even marginal. Like it's not marginal because Conservative
Yeah.
won it for 100 years.
So basically, really cute, fun bit of direct democracy. People trying to actively participate in the election and overturn fast past the post. But regardless, Labour aren't participating and are probably going to win the seat.
No, I don't think Labour will win the seat.
Really?
No, Labour aren't really fighting it.
They're not fighting it.
So it's the candidate isn't a local guy. He's
You
like,
think national swing won't play a factor? Because for me, it reeks of pathos.
does it?
Yeah.
I think
If that's what happens.
it's interesting. People you're speaking to, so there's a lot of positive energy around it. A lot of posters and windows saying, "I'm Green, but I'm voting for Caroline Voden. I'm Labour, but I'm voting for Caroline Voden," in a bid because they were in Totnes at least. There's stuff all over the constituency about this. People know about it, and even people. So a lot of people were really inspired by it, and being like, oh, well, finally my vote's going to count for something because I'm voting for this and I want to unseat Anthony Mangnall. But then I spoke to other people who were less enthused by it, saying, well, I don't really like the Liberal Democrats, but now I feel obliged.
Yeah.
But I feel forced to. I feel obliged to, and it kind of doubles down their hatred of the system. They're like, I'd much rather vote for the Greens or Labour, but it seems sensible. So it kind of doubles down their dissatisfaction with the system. So people were reluctantly participating in it. So even if people aren't, you have the positive participation and the reluctant participation, which isn't going in Labour's direction.
Interesting. Well, if it works, it's impressive, isn't it?
And it's
Could be an alternate model.
It's also being
Disrupting first past the post.
It's being replicated in, I think, it's about 8 seats all over the country, including North West Essex, where Kevin Badenoch is the incumbent, and in the new seat, East White, on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah. Another piece coming from there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be interesting to see how many of these big Tory beasts lose their seat. Whether Sunak will lose his seat as well. As Laura was reporting, that's a good piece as well.
I'm excited to watch it.
Well worth everyone's time. Features Councillor Tom again.
PoliticsJOE favourite.
PolJOE head. He had an interesting line in that, actually. I mean, he referenced some kind of bloke from classics, ancient history, which made me immediately want to stop listening to what he was saying, but it was it was a good point nonetheless. He said the government has found itself in Tacitus's trap.
Ooh.
Which basically that no matter whether what they announce is good or bad, people think it's bad. So even if they had like a policy programme that would remedy all of Britain's ills, people would still be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good way of describing it.
That is a good way of describing it. I also don't think they have the capacity to announce a programme that will remedy all of Britain's ills.
Yeah.
What do you make of the... So Labour and the Liberal Democrats have forbidden their any candidate from participating in primaries from now on. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I would expect it. Yeah, they it's a way of usurping their hegemony over the electoral system, isn't it? You know, they don't want things like this happening. First of all, because like the rules of any political party. Okay, so let's say the Labour do participate in the primary, they lose, and then if you're a Labour Party member and you go and campaign for the Lib Dems, well, you'll get kicked out of the Labour Party. So it's kind of it's institutionally they're opposed to things like this existing. Their entire mechanism is you support our party if you're a part of it, and on a secondary level they oppose it because it challenges the supremacy of the two-party system. Less so for the Lib Dems, but certainly with Labour. Yeah, that's what their problem is with it. They don't have an interest in dismantling first past the post. It's the system by which preserves their route to government. Interesting question will be whether a campaign for that really picks up if Farage wins in Clacton, which it would appear he's going to, and if Reform, I think UKIP topped out at about 5 million votes, I think in 2015. If Reform break that and end up with 5 or 6 million votes, but one MP, I think you're very quickly in a. It's the most fertile territory for Farage because it's anti-establishment, woke establishment. I am the only real critical force of this. Me and the people, we the people, oppose this, as demonstrated by the fact 6 million of you voted for us. We've only got one MP. Next campaign becomes electoral reform. And it'll be interesting to see if Keir Starmer can resist that challenge.
Isn't it interesting? We had a referendum on electoral reform. And it failed.
It did fail, yeah.
Which is...
spectacularly.
Settled will of the people, I'm afraid.
Unfortunately, I don't think... I think a referendum is just not the mechanism by which to change it.
We're not Switzerland.
Yeah, I like a lot of direct democracy, and I think particularly technological advances mean that on a local level you can have... We should, like at a council level, have far more participatory, for example, budgeting, things like that, where the council can have a series of digital polls, questionnaires that say, you know, would you support, if you had to cut X or Y, which would you cut? And that can foster a much higher level of like civic engagement, consent with the political process, and actually end up drumming up, if you're in a situation where, as a lot of councils are, where they're having to cut services because their budgets have been absolutely hammered. And thankfully, the Labour government's going to come in and say, your budget's exactly the same. For securing more of a mandate and generating more consent around the measures they adopt. There's really interesting opportunities there with digital technology and increased direct democracy. However, I think at a national level, being like, do you support AV? Fuck off.
Which is the worst of option.
Yeah. It's not even a delicious additional member system.
No, absolutely not. It's what the Conservatives gave the Lib Dems to completely fuck them.
Yeah.
You've had your referendum.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
The naivety of Nick Clegg with so many things, but basically like allowing the Tories to bend you over for 5 years. And it's like trade offer. You are my concubine.
Uh-huh.
You receive having to explain to the electorate what the D'Hondt formula is. Like, who takes that deal?
That's what I find really gracing about whenever the Lib Dems are challenged about their time in coalition. It's like, we fought them every day and they won.
Look at what they did when we left. Look at what they did when we left. It was worse when we left.
More of the same, mate. I'd be so curious to see, like, what were the Conservatives going to do that the Lib Dems seemingly stopped?
The purge.
They were going to murder people. They were going to have a coup. Yeah. And Danny Alexander talked down David Cameron from pressing the big red button and fucking nuking Scotland. Oh, they want a referendum, do they? No, David!
Yeah, something like that. No, it should be in a manifesto, or if you were to be elected on the back of a supermajority. I know we don't have a constitution which requires a supermajority to, for example, change things in the constitution. We have an uncodified constitution, famously. But if you were to win a majority of the scale that Keir Starmer could possibly win...
Do you mean landslide?
Yeah, landslide, but... you don't need me to explain this to you. Like a supermajority is like a defined thing. Like in certain constitutions, certain legislative houses, if, for example, you have like... if you wanted to change an aspect of the constitution, it will be like, you must have at least 60% of the parliament support this measure in order to visit it. So if you scan that across and you go, well, fucking hell, it looks like the Labour Party's won 400 seats, you'd say they then have a mandate to be able to change. And they actually are, by the way. Like I'd say it's probably the most radical parts of the manifesto are some of the constitutional changes that they want to make to the Lords, votes at 16. Like those are big changes to our democratic settlement. But I don't think they will. And that for me actually is the more interesting question now. Like there was a fucking leaders debate last night. I didn't even watch it.
And we're going to talk about it. Neither did I. I was on a train.
Yeah. I was watching Georgia, Portugal.
More gratifying?
It was class, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I didn't catch any of the Turkey game, but apparently that was quite good as well. And this is damning, because, I'm the editor of a political publisher.
Damning of your professional behaviour.
Well,
I'm
not sure if it is, but it's a serious point, because, by rights I should be watching it.
Yep.
Out of anyone in the country, I'm probably one of the people that's more inclined to watch it.
Yep.
And I didn't. Because I'm checked out of it.
There's been too many debates. There's been too many set pieces, I think.
See, possibly, but for me, because of Tacitus's trap,
You're gonna cut out the Tom Jones bit.
Let me tell you about Tacitus.
But you're calling it Tacitus.
Tackit us. It's done. It's game over. It's been game over from the start, pretty much.
Yep.
Unless something like D-Day happened to Starmer.
Yep.
But it hasn't. It's been the other way around. And every single one of those gaffes and failures has been another nail in the Tory coffin.
Yep. It's another shit in his lake.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's only two vaguely interesting questions remaining. One is, what is the scale of the Labour victory going to be? Did you see one of the Tories put $8,000 on them losing?
Philip Davies.
Yeah.
On him losing his seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's different to me.
That's good money.
That's a substantial sum of money.
Shall I see what the odds are?
I mean, when he you'd presumably be looking at like maybe a deposit for a second or third home for Philip Davis.
Yeah, I want to see
Expansion of his
I want to see how likely it is.
landlord portfolio.
Is he a landlord?
I suspect so. Odds are. Odds are. Yes.
You can't just say. Yeah, probably. He's
No, statistically.
Bet he steals
No,
as well.
I think-
Actually,
Statistically, if you're a Tory MP,
you are more likely.
you're probably I think you are odds on to be a landlord.
not odds on, surely.
I think it's half.
Half. Shipley electoral capital.
I'll look that one up whilst we're
Whilst
how
we're
many?
both having our phone break.
Yeah. It's been half an hour. Need to top back up again.
Time to watch TikTok for 10 minutes. Recharge that social battery and get back to it. It's the old seat.
Okay, so 87 MPs are landlords. That's total as well, so it's not just the Tories. So it's not half of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, still
So
pretty,
you
pretty
apologise to
Absolutely
to
not.
Philip Davies right fucking out, pal.
Absolutely not.
What is the fucking
So I think
new seat
there are
called?
two interesting questions. One is the scale of the Labour victory, which I think we mentioned the other day. It could be anywhere between sort of hung Parliament to like wipe out of the Tories.
Mm-hmm.
The more interesting question now is what happens next. You know, how will they govern? What will they do? And I don't think the debates in have any bearing on either of those two questions for me.
No.
And actually, because the last one I watched, I ended up pitying Rishi Sunak to such an extent. I felt so bad for him.
Which one?
Question time.
When they were booing him.
Well, it looked like he was going to cry.
Yeah.
He's looked like he was going to cry a lot, actually, in recent years.
Yeah. He doesn't like being Prime Minister. He's pretty bad at it.
Yeah.
Imagine being into a job that high profile and turns out you're not good at it.
Especially when you've won all your life.
Yep.
Like, that must be tough to take.
Uh-huh.
You're
Oh, yeah.
not actually the golden boy.
No, I am.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Me.
Yeah.
Excellent Prime Minister. I thought it'd be fucking easy, pal.
Yeah.
Why do you think there are so many debates? It can't be audience appetite.
I think there is a genuine. It's Trump Biden tonight, isn't it? Fucking amen, brother.
Affirmative
Rock on. See, that'll be interesting. Like that will. I want to watch that.
Yes.
They serve a democratic purpose, right?
Yeah, but the volume.
Well, I think that is just quite simply that's media.
Yeah, but it's like
That's every single broadcaster, wants one, and by rights, why should ITV have one and not Channel 4 or
yeah, but
Sky?
the 7 people one are
And of course, the digital audience need to watch one on the Sun's YouTube channel.
which is famous for its video products.
Yeah.
Just because News UK have a spare TV studio, they're like the Sun.
Yeah.
Everyone loves watching the Sun's video content.
And yeah, so they all basically get one, I guess. I think there should be like 2, both on the BBC, start of the campaign and end of the campaign.
I think one in the middle, because by now, like the postal votes will start to be going in.
I think it's in a normal election.
Yeah.
Although, what does that even mean now?
Yeah.
The electoral battleground will be different between the beginning and the end of the campaign. This is actually sort of relatively unique, I think, in that it's just this like solidified the hatred of Rishi Sunak. He's less popular now than Major in 97, Blair in 2005, and Brown in 2010 by a margin of like 20 points. It's insane.
And it's not even started the war.
I know. Might as well.
Fuck it.
We've got a week left.
Sunak, come on.
It's a week today. God.
What if he's an unbelievable military commander and we just don't know it?
A modern day Tacitus.
I don't think Tacitus was a commander.
How do you know?
He's a historian.
Who is Tacitus?
He's a historian, I'm pretty sure.
Fucking this guy.
That's right. Roman World 1B, Edinburgh
Neek.
University, 2015.
Big fat Neek over here. Come on.
Yeah,
let's
that's
have a
right.
look.
Bet you've never read Tacitus.
No, I haven't. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Maybe.
I've never heard of the guy. I mean, I could have done. I haven't picked it up. I've been like, read Tacitus
I just
now.
read screeds and screeds in Latin.
Yeah.
Juvenal, the works.
A historian and politician. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest Roman historians by modern scholars.
And generals. And the leader of the legions.
Let's have a look. Because if you're a politician back then, you could be a general as well, couldn't you? But I don't think.
I don't think he was a
He was a friend of Pliny the Younger.
good. Someone else we've all heard of. Real scholars of antiquity. Us.
Heavily influenced by Thucydides.
Excellent. Hit us with some more Tacitus facts, please.
In the letters of Sidonius Apollinaris, his name is Gaius. But in the major surviving manuscript of his work, his name is given as Publius.
That is sick.
And one scholar's suggestion of the name Sextus has been largely rejected.
It must be so fucking boring, like trying to work out what his name was.
He owed his rank to the Flavian emperors, and it's claimed that he is the descendant of a freedman.
Ah.
God, this is fucking dull.
You're telling us.
Nothing about him being a general.
No, I think we can safely.
Yeah.
Well, you might be. Well, we don't know if Tacitus would be good as a military commander either, much like Sunak.
Never tested in battle.
Absolutely untested. We should put Sunak in like a war game scenario. He's probably done that, and see how he gets on. Maybe a coup. See if he can stand down the coup
In
like the
Bolivia.
Bolivian president.
Get him to Bolivia.
Him standing it down. Imagine
Rishi Sunak facing down a coup.
putting the most unfortunate face at the doors of Downing Street. You got polling on the debate.
Right.
Who performed best, leaving aside your own party preferences? 50-50.
Fucking yeah, great. Great. This is what I mean. Yeah, just I think they're now they're stage managed to such an extent, combined with the electorate's made up mind, that they are kind of superfluous for this campaign. Mm-hmm. If it was tight,
Yes,
and it was like, you know, how are they arguing? Who's coming out on top? Then it might have a, you know, if it's a 2-point gap, fucking all right. Well, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
What would Rishi Sunak have to do in the debate to like get a 20-point? Be like bang, 20 points.
Give him that hawk to
Do you mean he'd have to reference the meme,
Nope.
or he'd have to spit on Keir Starmer's piece?
No, not just Keir Starmer's.
Everyone's
Everyone in the country.
right.
A last roll.
What about what? Only one thing for it. I'm going to
Line up,
suck
boys.
off everyone in the country.
Come on. It's the one thing we haven't tried.
He's run out of time now.
For
He's only got a
England.
week. What about if, you know how sometimes on holiday, there'll be like a bloke on the beach with like swinging a chain with a burning ball of like fire at the end of it round. Be like,
Yeah. No, I don't know that. But yes.
if at the debate Sunak was like, let me just stop you there.
Doing close-up magic for the camera.
Goes up to Michelle Hussein and is like, was this your card?
Juggling.
Everyone's like,
But he keeps dropping a ball, literally says. I remember in Britain's Got Talent when there'd be a freestyle footballer. And,
Yes.
And he'd fail
Yes.
in the live shows.
Yes.
And it'd be humiliating.
Yes.
It'd be that energy for for Sunak's juggling.
yeah. Did I send you the video of the guy juggling 3 apples?
No, it doesn't sound that impressive, to be fair.
He's juggling 3 apples. Every time one of the apples is in his hand, he takes a bite.
Oh, wow.
So he like bites, throws, catches the next one, bites, throws, and he gradually eats all 3 apples
Holy
whilst
shit.
juggling them.
Oh my God.
And covering himself in apple pulp.
If he did that, Sunak would go.
The whole
Sunak's
audience like,
Starbucks was like. It's actually quite impressive. That was my bad start.
You can't trust the Conservatives with your apples.
Oh,
He'll
no
eat
apple for
all
everybody
your-
else.
He'll eat all your apples.
You can't trust Keir Starmer with your apples. I don't know who that was. Someone in South Devon said to me, they were, because according to some polling, we might see a Liberal Democrat opposition to Labour. And she said, wouldn't that be great? Because we'd get some proper grown-up politics, and Prime Minister's questions would be you actually get some proper questions and some proper answers.
shit, I can't wait for her to be let down. If
It's like, that is incredibly optimistic about British politics. Ed Davey he's doing the juggling at Prime Minister's questions, eating the apples for a photo opportunity.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
I don't believe the MLP polling.
Oh, about the Liberal Democrats being the official opposition?
Like, I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't think it's going to be the Lib Dems either.
I think the sort of hard thing to measure is that the way the Tories will get hurt in this election is their voters won't turn out to vote for them. They'll just stay at home. Mm-hmm. Now that Reform are here, that changes. But the whole system is set up to sort of preserve the duopoly, right? Mm-hmm. Could they be wiped out? I just don't. It's too many marginal calls. Be interesting to see.
It's interesting because all the wildly different polling are all possible because of the vagaries in the system.
Yeah.
Like if it comes down to like a few thousand votes in a ton of seats, kind of every iteration is possible.
Yeah. It'll be a fun polling night,
Absolutely.
which we're going to stream all night.
Absolutely.
All night stream, baby.
How drunk are we going to be?
Choo choo. As drunk as we want to be.
That's good call because no peer pressure.
0.
We're going to get the guy who shat in the lake to shit live on stream. We're going to get the YouTube channel shut down. Do you think he wants to come?
I think he'd love to.
Should we?
He's not invited.
Maybe he is. I prepare a surprise guest. It goes down.
That'll
like
be
a lead
good.
balloon.
And finally, buy tickets to the live show
Yeah, definitely.
on Sunday. We'll see you there. Ed will tell you the pub he's in. Like, you'll be able to have a pint with him.
Yeah, at the end, not before. In an orderly fashion for 1 minute at a time.
Please form a queue for your 1 minute pint with Ed.
And only if you send me a tenner as well.
Mari Black. Ed Campbell.
Well, what more could you ask for?
Ava Santina. And she'll be there too.
And Ollie Dugmore.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
That's not true. LBC's Ollie Dugmore. No, it'd be great. I'm very excited for it.
Me too.
I'm excited to see everyone's lovely faces.
I'm excited to see what this lot look like.
Yeah. I bet they're hot.
All of our fans are hot.
Absolutely.
I think we have the most fuckable audience in political media.
Trying to think of the age range of our audience.
No. All things being equal. Obviously.
Yeah.
Just because... Stop it.
All our fans over 18
Yeah.
are hot.
No doubt.
Yep. Text Ollie when you turn 18. Oh, I met someone yesterday who started listening to the podcast 3 weeks ago and says has listened to every episode.
Start to finish.
I think so. He's binging it. Shout out that guy. You kind of forget.
Does he have a name?
Eben.
Eben.
Eben and Totnes.
Wasn't Eben Etzebeth, was it?
No, it wasn't Eben Etzebeth. That'd be cool. I would have told you if it was Eben Etzebeth.
Yeah.
No, he was cool. He was one of the people who was reluctantly voting Lib Dem. Shout out that guy.
Shout out Eben for reluctantly voting Lib Dem.
Yeah. Participating in the South Devon primary.
Right, I think I'm going to sneeze, so we need to wrap this up.
Okay. Did you sneeze on...
No.
You're not sneezing for free?
No.
You can, on your shared OnlyFans with the shitting late guy, all done with sneeze content.
Me sneezing, him shitting.
At once. Well, if you come to the live show, we'll tell you about the time Ollie shat himself and sneezed at the same time.
The reveal is all of the vulgar stories that I've told about on the podcast, they're all actually just about me. I have the unplumbed freestanding bath.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the other one.
No, I know. I wouldn't say that one either. That's a good one, though. Have we got anything else?
Nah. I think we're done.
You think you're done? Cool.
We've been rolling for, what, 45? Fucking hell.
Yeah, sick.
Dudes rock.
Absolutely. Dude rock. I hope you consider this podcast a return to form after yesterday's debacle.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.